Sometimes the hardest thing in life isn't losing someone. It's letting go of what you thought they were. You can stop seeing them, stop talking to them, even block them everywhere. But somehow, they still live in your mind. Their voice, their scent, their absence, it lingers. You wake up thinking of them, you try to move on, but they still appear in your thoughts like a shadow that won't fade. And you start to wonder, why can't I move on? Why does this person still have such power over me when they're no longer here? Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." What if this attachment isn't just about love? What if it's something deeper? Something your soul is trying to understand? So stay with me to the end of this video, because together we're going to explore how to emotionally detach, not through coldness, not by pretending you don't care, but by waking up to a deeper truth within you. And if you're someone who loves exploring the hidden layers of the mind, of love and of healing, make sure to subscribe, because this journey is just beginning, and you don't want to miss what's coming next. Let's be honest. When we attach to someone, it's not just because we like them. It's because somewhere deep down they make us feel complete, seen, safe. For a while, they fill the spaces in us we didn't even know were empty. Jung once said, "The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed." And that's what it feels like, right? That spark, that connection. You feel transformed. But here's where it gets tricky. Sometimes we mistake transformation for dependency. You start to rely on the feeling they give you, instead of the growth they awaken in you. Suddenly, their presence feels like oxygen, and without them you can't breathe. But Jung would tell you, what you're really seeking isn't them. It's the part of yourself that they helped you see. They were the mirror, not the missing piece. When we cling to people, we're not clinging to who they are. We're clinging to what they represent inside us. Jung called this the anima or animus, the inner image of love and connection we all carry. When you project that inner image onto someone, it feels magnetic. It feels like destiny. But it's really your unconscious saying, look here, this is what you need to find within yourself. So emotional detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you slowly pull back that projection and return that energy home to your own heart. You're not losing someone. You're retrieving your soul from the illusion that they were its keeper. And if this message is resonating with you so far, stay with me, because what's coming next will help you see why detachment feels so painful, and how Jung's wisdom can help you find peace where your heart once hurt. If you haven't already, take a second to subscribe and keep watching to the end, because the insight waiting for you there might just change how you see love forever. Every attachment has a shadow, the hidden motives we don't always admit to ourselves. You might believe you're holding on because you love them, but sometimes what you really love is how they made you feel, wanted, important, alive. Carl Jung said, "Everyone carries a shadow, and the less it is embodied in the individual's conscious life, the blacker and denser it is." And he was right. The shadow is that side of us we try to hide, the needy part, the fearful part, the one that whispers, "What if I'm not enough without them?" The truth is, the shadow in attachment often hides our need for validation, control, or the fear of being alone. So we tell ourselves stories to soften the pain. They were my soulmate. I'll never find someone like them. But these aren't truths. They're emotional defenses, ways we protect ourselves from facing what's really going on inside. To truly detach, you have to meet your shadow, not with judgment, but with honesty. Maybe part of you wanted to be chosen so you could finally feel worthy. Maybe you feared that if they left, you'd disappear. These are not weaknesses, they're revelations. Because when you face your shadow, something incredible happens. The pain begins to shift. Compassion replaces resentment. You stop blaming them for leaving or yourself for holding on. You begin to see that the relationship wasn't a punishment. It was a mirror showing you what still needed healing. Detachment isn't about fighting your emotions. It's not about shutting the door and pretending you don't care. It's about gently pulling back your projection, saying, "I no longer need you to carry what's mine." So breathe. Let the shadow speak. Let it teach you. Every part of you deserves to be seen, even the parts that once loved too much. And if this message is connecting with you, stay with me till the end of this video, because the next step Turning that pain into conscious energy is where real transformation begins. And before we move on, if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. This channel is a space for souls like you, people healing through awareness, through depth, through Jung's timeless wisdom. Carl Jung taught that pain is not a punishment. It's transformation in motion. What you're feeling right now, that ache in your chest, the emptiness, the confusion, it's not the end. It's your energy waiting to be reborn. You see, when you love deeply, you invest your emotional energy, your libido as Jung called it. But when that love is no longer returned, that energy doesn't just vanish. It lingers swirling inside you. It becomes sadness, obsession, or numbness. It's not trying to break you. It's asking to be redirected. So instead of saying, I need to get rid of this pain, ask, what can I create from it? Write, paint, walk in silence, breathe. Turn that same intensity that once connected you to someone else back toward your own soul. Jung's process of individuation is exactly that, turning chaos into consciousness. When you stop running from your pain and start listening to it, something beautiful happens. It transforms. Your pain has meaning. It's your psyche's way of saying, something inside you wants to grow. Every tear, every restless night, every moment of missing them, it's energy. And that energy can become wisdom, art, peace, or power. So breathe into it. Let it move through you. When your heart breaks, it isn't closing, it's opening. It's making space for a stronger, wiser, more self-aware version of you. And that's the paradox of detachment. You think you're losing love, but you're actually rediscovering it in its purest form, within yourself. So keep watching till the end, because in the next part, we'll explore how stillness, not resistance, is the real key to emotional freedom. And if this resonates with you, subscribe to join a growing community of people who are transforming pain into power, just like you. Carl Jung often said, what you resist persists. And when it comes to letting go, that couldn't be more true. The more you try to force detachment, to block thoughts, suppress feelings, or pretend you've moved on, the tighter the bond becomes. True detachment doesn't come from fighting your emotions. It comes from understanding them, from awareness, not avoidance. Stillness becomes your greatest teacher here. Sit quietly with what you feel. Don't rush it away. Just watch it like clouds slowly passing across the sky. The pain, the longing, the thoughts, they're not you. You are the one observing them, the witness, the consciousness behind the storm. This is where mindfulness and Jungian wisdom meet. The ego wants to control the outcome. It wants closure, answers, and fairness. But the self, that deeper center of wholeness Jung spoke of, simply wants understanding. So spend time alone, not in loneliness, but in solitude. Loneliness waits for someone to fill the space. Solitude discovers that you are already whole. When you give yourself stillness, you start to see the truth. You were never attached to them. You were attached to what they represented, the meaning you gave them, the reflection of your own unhealed parts. And one day something shifts. The thought of them will come and go like a soft wave, no longer painful, no longer powerful, just passing. That's when you'll know. You didn't detach from love. You detached from illusion. So keep watching, because in the next part, you'll see how to integrate everything you've learned, to take this pain, this awakening, and turn it into deep emotional freedom. And if you're finding peace in these words, go ahead and subscribe. This channel is for you, for those walking the quiet road of self-discovery, guided by Jung's timeless light. Carl Jung believed that every relationship, no matter how joyful or painful, carries a message from your unconscious. It's never random. It's always teaching your soul something essential for its evolution. So instead of asking, why did this happen to me? Ask, what is this trying to teach me? Maybe it taught you boundaries. Maybe it showed you what kind of love your soul truly craves. Or maybe it brought you face to face with parts of yourself you had long ignored. The insecure one, the overgiver, the dreamer. Whatever it was, don't discard the story. Integrate it. Make it part of your becoming. Because healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means remembering with consciousness. You can honor someone's role in your journey without keeping them in your future. That's not detachment, it's maturity. Jung wrote that the purpose of life is to become who you truly are. And sometimes endings are the very things that bring you closer to that center. So forgive them silently, thank them mentally, and then release them energetically. They were never meant to complete you, only to awaken you. And as you take that next quiet step forward, notice what's rising inside you, a calm strength, a quiet confidence, a peace that doesn't need approval. That's your soul standing taller. That's you coming home. So stay with me to the end of this video, because we're about to close with a reflection that ties it all together. A final Jungian insight that will help you see how every heartbreak, every loss, every letting go is leading you back to wholeness. And if this journey has spoken to something deep inside you, don't forget to subscribe. Because here every video is another step toward understanding yourself on the level Jung believed truly mattered, the soul. Emotional detachment isn't the death of love. It's its purification. It's when love finally sheds its fear, its need, its dependency, and returns to its truest form, freedom. You don't stop caring. You simply stop carrying what was never meant to be yours. You stop confusing holding on with loyalty, and you start realizing that letting go can be the most loving act of all. Carl Jung's wisdom reminds us that wholeness isn't something you find in another person. It's what you uncover when you return to yourself. And when you do, you realize something beautiful. The love you were chasing was never out there. It was always waiting within you. So, if you're listening to this right now, heart aching, mind spinning, feeling like you've lost something precious, take a deep breath. You haven't lost love. You're just remembering what it means to love without losing yourself. Because when you no longer need someone to mirror your worth, you become truly free. When you stop chasing validation, love starts flowing again. But this time, it flows from peace, not fear. And you'll notice it in the smallest ways. You wake up one morning, and the heaviness isn't there anymore. You look out the window, and the sky feels alive again. You hear a song that once broke your heart, and now it just sounds beautiful. That's your soul whispering, "You've come home." You start to realize that silence isn't emptiness, it's clarity. That solitude isn't punishment, it's power. And that your heart didn't break to destroy you. It broke open so you could finally meet yourself. Carl Jung said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." And sometimes, becoming who you are requires losing who you were when you were with them. So if you feel lost, if you're grieving someone or something that once meant everything, pause right here. Don't run from it. Sit in that space between who you were and who you're becoming. That's the sacred ground where transformation begins. You don't have to rush healing. You don't have to move on today. You don't even have to stop missing them. You just need to stay present, to let the process unfold. Because emotional detachment isn't about being cold. It's about being conscious. It's not about shutting down your heart. It's about learning to keep it open, even when someone isn't there to hold it. You see, love doesn't end when a relationship ends. It simply changes form. It moves from us to me, from out there to in here. And once you learn that, you'll never fear loss the same way again. There's a quiet strength that rises when you let go consciously. A strength that doesn't shout, doesn't need revenge, doesn't seek closure. It simply understands. It says, "I wish you well, but I'm choosing peace." That's growth. That's awareness. That's Jung's individuation in motion. The soul reclaiming its energy from everything that once held it captive. And as that energy returns, so does your light. You start creating again. You start feeling again. You start loving again, not because someone gave it to you, but because it's who you are. So if you're still watching this, I want you to do something simple. Take a slow, deep breath. Inhale peace. Exhale everything that no longer belongs to you. You don't have to fix anything right now. You don't have to make sense of the story. You just have to be here, because healing doesn't happen through control. It happens through awareness. And when you stop forcing, life begins to rearrange itself in the most unexpected ways. Opportunities appear. Peace returns. You begin to meet people who see you for who you are, not for what you can give. That's what Jung meant when he said that the unconscious becomes destiny. When you heal what's hidden, you stop repeating what hurts. So let go gently. You don't have to erase the memories or hate the person. Just stop feeding the illusion that they were the only source of love. Because love doesn't live in them, it lives in you. And the moment you truly understand that, everything changes. Maybe this person was never meant to stay. Maybe they were just the catalyst, the one who helped you find the parts of yourself you had forgotten. Maybe their leaving wasn't a loss. It was liberation. So forgive them. Forgive yourself. Thank them for the lesson, for the mirror, for the awakening. And then, with quiet dignity, release them. Walk forward, not with bitterness, but with grace. Because this journey isn't about forgetting. It's about remembering who you were before the pain and who you are becoming because of it. You are not broken. You are unfolding. You are not empty. You are clearing space for something deeper. And one day, when you least expect it, you'll look back on this time, not with sadness, but with gratitude. Because this was the moment you began to wake up. So if this message has touched something in you, if you feel a sense of calm where there once was chaos, stay with me till the very end. And if you haven't yet, subscribe. Because here, every word, every story, every reflection is a reminder that healing isn't about forgetting. It's about becoming whole again. As we close, I want you to remember this. Do nothing. Don't chase. Don't force. Don't fight. Just observe. Watch how life begins to move differently when you stop trying to control it. Watch how little by little, everything starts to fall into place. Because it will. It always does. The heart knows how to heal itself. If you just give it the stillness to remember. So breathe. You've done enough. You've tried enough. Now let life love you back in its own mysterious way. And as you sit in that stillness, remember, detachment is not losing love. It's finding freedom within it. And that freedom is where you finally meet your truest self.